CNY Central. This is NBC3 News at 5.
Good evening. Welcome to NBC3 News at 5. I'm Matt Mulcahy.
And I'm Megan Coleman. Tonight, the governor is in Oneida asking the president to declare a federal disaster in some of the areas hit hard by flooding.
Yeah, the governor took another good look at this tonight. It is breaking news now at 5 as the governor meets with first responders and the city leaders who have had a very long 3 days since the flood happened Thursday into Friday morning.
Tonight, the governor is calling for all hands on deck to help deal with the fallout from the flooding disaster, even calling on the president for federal help in the relief effort.
And he told the public, especially those who have been displaced by the flood, prepare for the long haul psychologically. Just because the waters are receding, it does not mean that the problems have been solved and you'll be allowed to go back into your homes just yet. More from the governor in just a moment.
And the waters continue to recede today, but many people in Oneida are still displaced from their homes. An informational meeting is scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight to give people in the area an idea of where the relief efforts stand right now.
Yeah, a lot of people have been worried about this idea of a levee breaking too, and the mayor of Oneida actually addressed that a little while ago, saying there was no break of a levee, but water may have gone over it instead. We'll get to more detail on that throughout the newscast too.
And Destiny USA developer Bob Congel's making headlines again, reportedly looking for his next big tax deal. It is the subject of our talk tonight.
Yeah, you've probably been in the expanded Destiny, and it's had a very strong year, very strong opening, attracting visitors from across the region, especially to our neighbors from the north, Canada. But now will it grow again, and will there be a deal to help make that happen? We'll let you know.
But first tonight, a dark and gloomy start to July across central New York today. We did see some more wet weather. We are in weather alert mode tonight with more flash flood watches for parts of central New York.
Yeah, and as we turn to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Wayne Mahar, he's got the umbrella up, but Wayne, we've seen some road closures in places like Dryden, for example, some areas where some localized heavy rain has fallen down late today.
Yeah, you know, as we talked about too, it's a cumulative effect right now. You know, maybe a week ago, you would have needed 2 or 3 inches of rain to cause flooding, and now, because we've had so much rain, now you only need maybe an inch or so in spots. Here's a look at the Stanley Law Sky Watch overlooking the city of Syracuse with a Stanley Law camera. And you can see right there, as Megan said, obviously it is wet, it is damp, it is gloomy outside right now. Okay, let's go to live triple Doppler radar. Let's talk about the watches and warnings in effect. A live triple Doppler showing a pretty good area of some rain right now. Some of the rain moderate heavy at times, moving from south to north right in over Rome and Ariska and Oneida, Vernon, Verona, these areas that absolutely do not need the rain, but this is some moderate rain moving over that area right now, and a little bit further down to the south, it sort of stretches on down towards Sherburne. Again, another area, Shenango County, Cortland County, where the rain absolutely is not needed. As far as what do we have going on for warnings and watches right now, we are looking at a flood watch in effect for much of the area. A flood watch is in effect for all of central New York and the Mohawk Valley for these areas right here through noontime tomorrow. And as far as warnings are concerned, a flash flood warning for Cortland County until 5:45, and then all the other counties there, Tompkins County, Madison, Oneida, Herkimer County, these are flood warnings or flash flood warnings in effect until at least 10 o'clock tonight. So as the governor said, it's going to be a long haul to get all the waters to come on down. It's going to be probably days to do that. Of course, you can always keep track of the live triple Doppler radar and watches and warnings with our CNY Central mobile app. You want to download it at cnycentral.com. Lots more coming up in a few minutes.
Point, thanks. Back to the breaking news we told you about at the top of the show today. Governor Cuomo and other state officials were in Oneida just a short time ago, surveying the damage and calling for the president's help.
Well, the governor also had praise for all the first responders, saying they've gone above and beyond the call of duty to help neighbors. He also warned that this is about public safety, and he's not done trying to get the people all the help they need. He also says FEMA will lead the charge when it comes to rebuilding. They will arrive when the water recedes, so that'll still be a few more days. Governor Cuomo has asked the president to unleash any federal assistance that is available to help with this recovery effort tonight. Governor said that FEMA will lead that charge when it comes to rebuilding. It's going to take some time, and he wants people to prepare for that. Now, neighbors in Oneida are still reeling from the devastating floods that forced so many, in fact, 150 to 200 homeowners out of those homes on Friday. Now the city of Oneida is doing everything it can to help, while people inside and outside of the community rally together to take care of those in need. Dora Scheidel has more from Oneida.
Suzanne Page says her house on Linden Street is underwater. She hasn't been allowed back inside since Friday's devastating flood.
I heard screaming. People were screaming my name. Susie, get out, get out. So I looked out my dining room window, and that's what it was, a roaring river coming towards my house.
Page attended a news conference earlier today where officials told the people of Oneida that the city is still in a state of emergency.
There's still a 8 p.m. curfew, 8 to 8, and we need to maintain that for the safety of our citizens.
Authorities are still not letting people back in their homes if they live in this area between Lenox Avenue and Stevens Street. But with the rain coming down this hard and a flash flood warning still in effect, for many people here in Oneida, the real fear is about what lies ahead.
My concern is the rain coming today. Is it going to happen all over again?
James Lyons is also homeless now, but it's not stopping him from spending his days volunteering. He says it's helping him stay positive.
I think we've seen the worst. You know, I think we've seen the worst, and things will get better, hopefully.
Just like the relentless rain, donations are pouring into the Church on the Rock.
We expected the community to step up, but we're so blessed at this point. And people's hearts are just really pouring out right now.
Many have lost their homes, but thanks to the generosity of this community, they have not lost hope. Reporting from Oneida, I'm Dora Scheidel.
Thank you, Dora. We have an alert tonight, especially for those of you in Cortland County who have seen heavy rain today. As of now, 15 roads, including routes 11 and 221, major routes, are closed in Cortland County because of flooding. These roads have debris or rushing water going across them. Officials in Cortland County do not have any reports of injuries due to this new round of flooding.
In the Mohawk Valley, the Salvation Army is feeding thousands at canteens in both Herkimer and Mohawk. The waters are down for now, but many homeowners had their gas cut off because of flooding. It's also a day for massive cleanups. The Red Cross is also setting up a shelter in Herkimer now for people whose homes are not livable. CNY Central is teaming up with the American Red Cross to raise money for the Disaster Relief Fund in the wake of the flooding disaster.
Yeah, we're setting up a phone bank in our CNY Central newsroom to be used tomorrow morning throughout the day from 5 a.m. till 7 o'clock in the evening. You can see our crew getting set up for the event in our newsroom as we speak. CNY Central staff members will be manning the phones along with the Red Cross volunteers, taking your donations to the Red Cross.
It all starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning on Today in Central New York. We'll bring you updates all day long from Oneida and our phone banks through 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
You can read more details about it at cnycentral.com. And then bright and early tomorrow morning, we'll start taking your calls and your donations to help with the relief effort. Well, police in Norwich are asking for the public's help in finding a woman who has been missing since Friday. Police say 51-year-old Krista Kozowski never arrived at work in Clinton after heading out in the heavy rain and floods Friday morning. Kozowski was reported missing by Friday evening by her husband. Police are concerned as her route to work was ravaged by flood waters. Kozowski has brown eyes and brown hair. She was last seen driving a gold 4-door 2007 Pontiac Grand Prix. The license plate is FCX 3112. If you see anything about this or know anything about her, please contact the Norwich Police. The number's on your screen, 607-334-1212. The state of emergency persists, and so does the 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew in the city of Oneida, one of the places hardest hit in Friday's flooding.
A town hall-style meeting is planned for 6 o'clock tonight as neighbors get an update on relief efforts. Our Katie Corrado joins us live from Oneida tonight, where the governor just gave a press briefing. And Katie, what did we learn?
Megan, we've just learned that the governor said first and foremost, this is an issue of public safety. The situation is still dangerous and people still need to be careful. The governor said that about 200 state troopers are in Oneida and they will be here for as long as necessary. And the governor says the next thing they have to do is to focus on rebuilding. He says about 150 to 200 homes are significantly damaged and they will have a better assessment once the water recedes. Today, the governor asked President Obama to declare the area a major disaster and says FEMA will be doing assessments on the ground when the water recedes. But he says with the community's help, Oneida will be rebuilt better than before.
They put their own interests aside and they've stepped up in the spirit of community and they've stepped up to help their neighbor. And that is the silver lining in the storm, to see how good people can be when things are at their worst.
Also spoke to Mayor Max Smith about the levees. There's been some conflicting reports about whether or not one of the levees broke on Friday, and the mayor told me point blank that the levee did not break. So another piece of information to pass along tonight. Reporting live from the fire department in the city of Oneida, I'm Katie Corrado. Matt and Megan.
Katie, thanks. Lacey's Tapas Bar on Holly Avenue in Syracuse is taking donations for flood victims today. They're looking for cleaning and medical supplies. In fact, they started taking donations this afternoon. They'll deliver whatever they get to the flood-ravaged areas tonight. There is still much more to come on NBC3 News tonight.
Utica Boilermaker officials are beefing up security for this year's road race. We'll have more on what they learned from the Boston bombings about keeping runners and attendees safe. Plus,
I'm Brennan Roth in Marcy, where police have launched a search for Levon Wanling, the 9-month-old infant who's been missing for more than a month. All of the story coming up.